Hello, LG and I did an Instagram live the other day and a really good question came up about how to balance being green, being sustainable with the current coronavirus situation. And we didn't have time to answer it, but I thought it would be nice just to say a few words about that now. And I also want to flag up three particularly good words: extreme weather, sustainability and resilience, and these will all come into what I'm about to say. Extreme weather is the term we use for tornadoes, cyclones, typhoons, big floods, all those dangerous large-scale events that are outside of normal weather patterns. And we know that climate change is going to make them more likely. I mean, you can look up all the sort of science, but sustainability as a word is about trying to live within our environmental limits. And you can talk about something being sustainable as an adjective, sustainability noun. Resilience is a great word, and it means being making yourself ready for the future, so you can cope with the future, making yourself sort of strong for whatever challenges the future brings. And you can talk about being resilient as an adjective, you can talk about resilience as a noun. So the first thing I want to say about sustainability and the coronavirus crisis is that there have been some positive effects, such as factories being shut, so there's less pollution, fewer flights, things like that, but they are only very short term. That's another good phrase, short term, which is an adjective, and it can be used as a noun as well in the short term, meaning only for a small amount of time. So there are those short-term positives, but there are also a lot of bad things, all the disposable masks, single-use plastic gloves and plastic aprons, things like that. Greater use of paper towels instead of fabric towels, because we want to throw stuff away in case it has virus on it. Food waste, there's been a lot of pictures on social media of food that's been thrown away because people have bought too much. So there are things that we can do, absolutely. But more importantly, I think we need to focus on the times outside of the crisis. We need to be extra green, we need to be extra sustainable when we're not in a crisis, so that when we are in a crisis, we can afford to have some waste. There's an English proverb, make hay while the sun shines, which is normally used to mean take an opportunity when it comes along. But if you look back into the history of that phrase, it comes from the idea that in the summer you can gather the hay, which is dried grass, during the good weather and store it. And then in the winter, when the animals can't go out to feed because the weather is too bad or the grass is under snow, you can keep the animals inside and you have hay to feed them. The idea is use the good times to prepare for the bad. And I think that's absolutely how we should look at a crisis like this. Climate change is going to bring a lot more disruption. That's another great word. Disruption is when things that are no longer normal, when things are made chaotic or thrown out of their normal pattern. Disruption, disruptive is an adjective, disruption noun. Disrupt is a verb. There's going to be a lot more disruption. There's going to be, with great higher temperatures and loss of land to the sea level rises, there'll be less places to grow food. There may be less fresh water. A lot of people have to move because the places where they live will no longer be safe for them. There are a lot of things, more extreme weather, of course. So there are a lot of things coming our way that are going to get worse and worse that could well be more disruptive than this virus. So we need to look at how we live. We need to learn everything we can from this crisis, how we organise our society and try and make ourselves more resilient for the future disruptions that are coming. I mean, we don't know what the future will bring. We don't know everything about this virus. We don't know everything about how the climate crisis will unfold. So there are a lot of questions. There's a lot to talk about. So feel free to comment, to argue with me, whatever. So stay well, stay safe, look after yourself, and I hope to see you in comments or elsewhere in social media to continue this very interesting discussion. So thank you very much. Bye.